There you go.
Okay, thanks, Danielle.
No problem.
Okay, so Artist Associates are the 5 partners who are going to be the founding members of the Carleton Place Art Gallery. And the consignment artists are going to be artists that come in on a rotating basis and are able to have space within the gallery to showcase their work. And I want to introduce you, first of all, to all of us who are looking after this project. So first of all is Jilly Marston. And Jilly, I'm going to leave you to say a few things about your own work. She's the main driving force behind this, and she's a wonderful and very humble artist, but she is definitely the fuel behind this.
Visionary.
Okay, definitely.
And if I could make this advance. Okay, you can figure it out. Okay. Okay, so yes, I'm an artist. I've been started painting about 13 years ago and selling work about 10 years ago. And I've always been doing photography. Photography's been a passion of mine. So I've recently, in the last 2 years, started combining art and photography by doing some digital work to add and enhance my photographs. So at some point, the idea of having a gallery, a place to permanently show my art, not just periodically at shows, came to me, and actually meeting with some friends who we talked about, wouldn't it be lovely to have a gallery? One artist said, oh, I really would like to have some studio space. And so over some coffee, we said, well, why don't we do that? How is it that things happen? How do you turn a dream into a reality? You do it by saying, we're going to do this. So that started, and we decided we will do this. We will make this happen. And so together with some similarly committed people, we have been working at this and have got to the point where we felt we needed to share this with you, with artists, to recognize the support there is in the community, to find additional people to come in with us. So I won't go into all of that because that's part of the rest of the show, but that's who I am. I've got a background in IT and finance, so kind of I feel comfortable in the business role here, along with my partners. We are all equal partners. That is a tenet and a thing about this, that there's not one boss. So far, we've been being an awesome team working together. And I am very grateful to all of those who've joined me to do this. Or I have joined them. We look at it that way. And any of you who join us, we will make it great. So I will let go on.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
So I am Colleen Gray. I am an Indigenous artist, local to Gillies Corners. Oh, you just have to click it. There you go. Sorry. So my medium is watercolor on synthetic paper. It's a very cutting edge and new medium that very, very little has been known about. I've been pioneering it, techniques for this medium for the past 6 or 7 years now. And now that I'm finally teaching it, I'm finding more and more people are starting to engage, and it's a really wonderful thing to see. I'm also the founder and the sole operator of the Art for Aid project. So for the past, in excess of 10 years, I've put art supplies into remote Indigenous schools across Canada. There will be an allocated space within the gallery to house Art for Aid. Somebody's got a mic going off there. Can you just mute your mics, guys? So we've got a space set up for Art for Aid, and the 100% of the proceeds that go to Art for Aid help to fuel the project's growth and shipments. Well, I guess I'll put this as mentioned in here. In 2019, the Government of Canada saw fit to award me a Governor General's medal for volunteering, which I was very, very proud to have.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah. But it has definitely opened a lot of doors for me, and it has allowed me to be able to give advantages to Indigenous youth across Canada that wouldn't normally be able to have access to those advantages. So I'm very, very excited about that. I'm really looking forward to having a place to showcase all of the local art that's here. And also I'm very excited about, hi, come on in, come on in. I'm also very excited about the prospect of bringing art from Indigenous youth in the high schools forward to the Carleton Place area and showcase some of the incredible work that these youth are doing. And so this, I believe, will be a wonderful vehicle to make that happen as well. So without further ado, I'm going to turn you over to Claire Jacobs, who is another artist on the founding partnership.
Actually, Pam next.
Oh, is it Pam? Oh, so sorry, Pam.
We don't forget you, Pam.
Not to forget Pam, who is like,
who did all this.
who did all this.
This one.
All right.
No worries.
All right. And Pam Stewart, take it away.
Hey, a lot of you probably already know me. I'm a bit of a, anyway, whatever. I'm home with COVID, so sorry I can't be there in person. But just my art, you may not know or you may know, is a bit innovative. It uses a lot of alcohol inks, mixed media, always on wooden panel, finished with resin. I've become a bit of a specialist in the art of art resin. Yeah, I'm really interested in building up our community and getting people really used to supporting and buying from live local artists. And I'm incredibly interested in making sure that we have a beautiful space to exhibit our art, because I just find that there really aren't enough venues. So that is what I'm most excited about in the partnership. And obviously I bring to the table a wealth of strategic comms and social media and graphics specialties. So that's my spiel. And I'm really excited about this partnership and really keen on Carleton Place, because you're going to see in the slides that come that it's a really, really smart time to be doing this. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, Pam. Yeah. So Ginny Faubert is another one of our founding partners, and Ginny is in the Caribbean right now, probably sipping a pina colada as we speak. So go, Ginny. So she's unfortunately not able to join us by Zoom because of connectivity issues. Obviously, the ocean is not conducive to good connectivity. So I'll read you her little spiel. So Ginny Faubert, Mind's Eye, Fine Art Photography. Ginny's spare time has taken her in many different directions, from real estate and interior design in the Toronto area to desktop publishing, writing and editing, global marketing, home building, project management, and event organizing, to name a few. I have always wanted to be a photographer. One boring rainy day in 2011, I decided to be a real estate photographer, stager, and marketer. I ventured out, purchased my first DSLR, read everything I could to just start pushing the shutter button. After a successful business doing just that, I shifted into fine art photography. Once told that photography was not an art, Ginny believes that a photograph is made, not taken. Like a painting, it is made with your own mind and your own mind's eye. It is slow and considered, it is slow and considered in its making. It takes a discerning eye, a sense of what is around you, and a comprehension of how everything reacts to the surrounding light sources to make a picture. And it can indeed be art. To me, it seems limiting to only photograph the world in one way. I like to look for something of interest and go beyond it to find a different way to portray what I see. Photography allows me to get outside the box, be a bit rebellious, break some rules, and get away with it. Photography is a way of slowing down, escaping the norm, and watching the world move at a more peaceful pace. Primarily a self-taught photographer from way out in West Carleton, her aim has been to bring photography further into the art world using unique photographic and in-camera techniques. Ginny is an accomplished fine art photographer who has been involved in numerous art organizations as a coordinator, curator, and an artist, and has had many solo shows, and has been juried into countless art festivals and exhibitions within the city of Ottawa and across Ontario. Very cool artist. Claire Jacobs, sitting here on my right.
That would be me.
Is also one of our founding members. And Claire, you take it away.
Hi, okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So in my little world in Rideau Lakes, down in Rideau Lakes, I have my own little gallery down there which is sometimes also my dining room. Well, it is, yeah. I'm a watercolorist as well as an oils painter. I think the top painting on the left is in oils and is 36 by 40. My friend Sammy on the bottom is watercolor, and so is the painting of Ella in watercolor. I enjoy doing both of them equally. I think in all that I've done in terms of art, I've always really enjoyed and always looked for different ways to actually bring art to the community, and not just my art. I've liked to bring together maybe pop-up shows and that kind of thing. That's always interested me. So this is an excellent opportunity to be able to continue that kind of activity. These ladies, and there really are three of them who started this whole thing, that being Jilly and Pam and Colleen, who are the visionaries and have done all the grunt work so far into all of this. It's a wonderful idea. It's great for all local artists. It's something that I just completely bought into, that I'm really excited about. And I think getting involved in this was an easy decision for me after I had a look at all of the ins and outs of it. I love the vision. I love the purpose. It means doing more of what I love, and if not now, when, right? So that's me.
All right. So Claire's going to talk to you a little bit about why we actually want an art gallery in Carleton Place and why we feel it's important.
Okay, so we've got a picture to show you. There's Carleton Place. There you go. So for one, let's have a look at the next one. Okay. For one, Carleton Place.
Up there.
Oops,
Hang on.
I haven't
Oh,
been.
oh,
Yeah, here we go.
wrong button. Here we go. So for one, Carleton Place doesn't, yes,
Oh,
even
yes.
more.
A little bit more, yeah.
How's that?
How's that? Better?
Oh, too much?
Too much. Okay.
All
All right, there we go. No
Are
problem.
we good?
Yeah.
Okay, so Carleton Place, whoops.
Speaking to there.
Oh,
Just
Speak this way.
Well, I'm just saying that for the Zoom people, I hope they can hear well.
okay. Carleton Place does not have a fine art gallery or exhibition space outside of the personal studio space of local artist Sarah Moffat. She's over in the industrial area. You probably all know Sarah. I've done workshops with her, and she's amazing. Again, why Carleton Place? Well, it's been first on the list of fastest growing towns in Canada for the last 4 years. Did we know that about Carleton Place? I didn't. Arts Carleton Place shows are not just well attended, but we've broken records for sales over many years. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at these notes here and trying to make sure it's all happening. Okay, so Arts Carleton Place shows have done extremely well here. And attendees have a high appreciation and appetite for fine art. Carleton Place's main street has just been completely redone. The whole streetscape is all beautiful. They've done the bridge, so a massive renovation. Most of this stuff is normally done in the spring and summer, right? So there hasn't been a whole lot going on there previously. I think they're ready and excited to start seeing some things happen down there. So this would be perfect time to establish
I'm just going to jump in and let people know. I don't know if you're all aware of this. Probably about 6 years ago, I went into the township of Carleton Place to do a demographic study. I wanted to open an art gallery, but I wanted to see what the potential growth was for Carleton Place. At that time, I think it was maybe 6, maybe even 7 years ago, they had said that at the time, the projected growth over the next 10 years was 92% growth rate for Carleton Place. As a staggering amount of population. We have already reached that, and it's not been 10 years. So we're continuing to grow. So having an art gallery on the main street is absolutely essential at this point, in our opinion.
Okay, I think we're done with this particular slide. So if we go and talk
objectives?
about our objectives. That's you. Oh, that's me.
I could talk if you want.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to create a hub, a successful arts hub for Leonard County, Ottawa Valley artists so that they can be showcased in an area where there has really been no presence for them to be showcased before, other than at local art shows. We want to raise up and elevate local artists. We also want to provide a place for local artists to come in and offer workshops and have space. So you might have an incredible a potter who is working out of their home and maybe on the tour, the studio tours, but not really have a gallery venue where they can present their work. We plan on having shelving. We plan on having professional level lighting and wall space available, a professional hanging system. This is going to be a top of the line gallery. So if you're looking for that kind of a venue, that is what we're going to be presenting. We want to also have the gallery on Bridge Street because we want to invite more foot traffic to the downtown core. And wherever an artist sets up shop, the entire area is improved and foot traffic is more frequent. And that has been proven in every city across the world. Artists beautify and bring something essential, which is creativity, to a local area. So this is the foundation of what we're trying to bring. I'm just going over really quickly here, supporting local arts. So I think we've pretty much covered that.
Okay. So what is Carleton Place Gallery? It's a lot of the things that you've just heard Colleen talk about and say. This really gets to the heart of it. It is meant to be a modern and a professional fine art and artisan gallery run by and featuring local creators. That's us and that's you. We hope to make this gallery not just a place to buy art, but a hub for creative events and for community gatherings that support and grow artistic awareness and appreciation and sales, right? In Carleton Place. And finally, even though this gallery will not be formally tied to the local Fine Art Association, which is Arts Carleton Place, right? Arts Carleton Place is already on board, and they're supporting us by holding some of their monthly meetings, or they have committed to hold their monthly meetings in what will be our space. And we'll as well be looking at doing paint-ins and other art education events in our space.
So if you're not members of Arts Carleton Place already, highly recommended. It's a phenomenal organization. $25 a year gets you a membership and access to shows, web presence, you name it. It's a bargain you can't beat. We're good for there?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're operating, so just to jump in here really quickly and steal the show from you, Claire, we're operating as a nonprofit, and the way that is going to look is that we obviously have to cover the basics of the operations day-to-day running of a gallery, but when artists come in, artists are subjected to a gallery fee, but as the if we have great sales, then those fees are going to drop. So the more work that's done into the gallery, the more effort that's put into it, the greater the feedback is going to be, and the greater the foot traffic is going to be, and the greater the sales are going to be, which benefits the artists. So it's always going to be on a sliding scale depending on what our sales are like. So the harder we all work together, the better our sales are going to be, and the better we all come out ahead. So that's really how it's going to work. I don't know if there's anything else you want to jump in there.
Yeah,
There's
there'll be
further.
more about that, but I think that
Okay.
I just wanted to explain that as artists, part of this idea is that we're looking at this not to be individuals who are starting a gallery to, to run off with the profits. This is something, and I think Colleen has pretty much already said all that, but that it's not going to be officially a nonprofit because there's a lot of paperwork involved with that. But we're going to have that mentality. That's the way we look at it. My two tenets amongst ourselves have always been that as the owners, partners of the gallery, that we will look at the sort of well-being of all artists that come to the gallery, hope that they will all be successful, and that we will be operating together as equal partners in that respect. So I guess that's cool. When we'll say more about that and further
Couple
down.
of slides.
Okay, so we covered the fact that we want to be on Bridge Street. We are currently looking at a space on Bridge Street right now. That space has not been secured yet. So, oh, we,
Yep.
Sorry.
14.
there we go.
Yep, there we go.
So we are definitely looking at whatever possibilities are available. So if anybody has an ear to the ground and you know something we don't, we would love to talk to you. But right now the space at was it 141?
145.
145 Bridge Street, right by the Century 21 office downtown, is available, and we are in negotiations right now, but nothing is secured at this point. So additional spaces can be looked at if that comes available. We've based our projections, our financial projections are based on that space. We've gone in, we've measured, we've talked about renovations, and if all goes according to how we are asking for it to go, we will be able to open hopefully this summer, May, June, I think is May,
Yes.
June, we're
yes.
hoping to open. Providing again, and I stress this, that we get this space and have it renovated, and it will be brand spanking new. So you'd be coming into a brand new gallery that is going to be promoted up the wazoo. We all have strong social media presence. I know Pam and myself, practically live on social media. And so we definitely have some networks that we can access, along with our communities that are very interested and have an ear to the ground on this gallery opening up.
Yeah. There is one thing I'd like to say.
Yeah.
I guess I could just, sorry. I'd also like to say, it might seem, why are we having this meeting now? That we've found a space and we are trying to negotiate that space. But we're presenting this to you as a gallery. But as Colleen has mentioned, we haven't secured it yet. But this has been a sort of dilemma for us to say, what do we do first? We have to, as partners, we're going to have to sign a lease, which we're hoping will be for 5 years, for quite a lot of monthly lease amounts and costs, and make some very big commitments. So we thought, well, when we're trying to negotiate a lease and all getting ready to put that signature on the line, we felt we needed to expand our little base to get a better feel for that. And also to reach out to the community to make sure that we have your engagement, because we will need to go forward as a group. We will have to have, hopefully, many of you come forward and put submissions in. So having this meeting, while it would have been lovely to have signed all of those agreements and had it all ready, we really felt that we need to push forward on all fronts so that we feel we have your support. We can see those faces on Zoom and here, and afterwards ask you to express further interest that you might have based on that. And then we have this real sense of confidence and wind in our sails that what we're doing is not as risky. We have personally committed ourselves to finance this through our fees, which are going to be substantial, that we will pay into the gallery, so that we feel good about the lease being paid. But why are we having this meeting? Well, it seems that we still have this uncertainty. It's for that reason, so that we know we can look at you and feel that you are with us, and that those of you too, I don't want to leave you guys out, that you are with us, and that when we continue on with these negotiations, we know, we can feel really good about that, and proceed with confidence. So I just want to interject that, because it may seem like, like, why aren't they waiting till they got this thing signed and we know 100% that we've got doors opening? But it kind of goes together in our sense, because we're not business people with, millions, that we're artists like you, who are passionate about this, who are passionate about this, but that we believe in it, and we believe in our art and in the art of the community, and that this will work. So, okay, that's my little cool.
Thanks, Jillian. I should speech.
So there's probably a picture. We
Yeah,
need to move
so
on.
Yeah.
So this is the area that we're considering. The area has incredible 18-foot ceilings. They're tin ceilings. It's a heritage building. This was part of the Century 21 real estate right next door. You could probably peek in the windows and have a look at it. We're hoping to have 100% of the renovations covered by the builder. And again, that's in negotiation at the moment. Excuse me, but we will be submitting a formal offer once we have all the negotiation details on the table. It's an amazing location, like the foot traffic right downtown will bring a lot to local businesses as well. We have the support of the township, the BIA. We've got a lot of local support for what we're doing, and there's been a lot of people that are sort of now coming out of the woodwork who are saying, like, oh yeah, we were thinking about doing this for a long time, or we talked about doing this. And so to be the first ones to land that footprint on the main drag like that is we're really proud of that. And we're really keeping our fingers crossed that we can get this place. But again, things are always moving downtown. Things are always opening up. So
Yeah,
we won't lose hope. All right.
Okay, my turn now. So exhibiting at the CP Gallery and what that's going to look like. Because we've talked about a number of different things, this may start to get a little bit repetitive for you. But here, we intend to work really hard to make this gallery profitable for every artist that exhibits with us. And we will, as much as possible, I think, run this gallery as a not-for-profit. So to make sure, though, that the gallery is viable and that costs are kept as low as possible in all months of the year, we're structuring the business to make sure that there are multiple revenue streams. So it's not just going to be from our sales or from your sales. You've seen how we're hoping that there will be a planned space where we are going to have a studio area where you can rent space to have to come and do some of your work. Space to do additional workshops or educational workshops and meeting and events. If we're doing really well and the commissions and the fees that we have flowing in are creating a surplus for us, then we do plan to adjust to lower costs for the artists. And I think all of us are committed to that idea. This is our ultimate goal over time. So if we go to the next overhead. So how exactly is this thing going to be run? Well, for now, You've heard now that there are currently 5 associate artists, so 5 partners who are managing the business of the gallery and pay rent. And we are going to be exhibiting our work regularly in the space as well. Then there will be consignment artists that hopefully could be many of you. You would pay a small monthly fee, and we'll get into a little more about that in the next overhead or two. So there'd be a small monthly fee and a commission, and your exhibition agreements would be shorter and a little bit more transients. Everybody involved in the gallery is going to have to work together to help make the thing successful. So if you come on as a consignment artist, we are going to be looking for you to spread that all over the place into your social media. Talk to your friends about it. Tell them that you're with the CP Gallery, with the Carleton Place Gallery. Promote it and share. We're also going to require all artists to take turns and take some of the shifts to work the gallery if your work is being shown there. Something similar to what the Canada Civic Gallery is doing, and I think maybe the Foyer Gallery is doing. Some of you are probably aware of that. This is going to ensure everybody's involvement to help make the gallery successful and to help us at the same time. So it's not just the partners that are always having to be there. We need time to paint too, right? Okay, I think now, Colleen.
Me again?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, everybody on Zoom, y'all doing okay? Okay, so we mentioned the studio and workshop space that's going to be available. We can do small events and studio time for artists. Some artists might have large format piece that they want to work on, but not have the space to work on their dining room table. Me too. So this will allow an opportunity for that to happen. We're also looking at having mobile walls in the space as well. And those mobile walls will allow us to section space off or move them around for specific events. We've already done research on lighting systems, on hanging systems, and we kind of at this stage, we know what we want. So it's, we're so, I mean, this is really tooting our own horn, but we are damn good at this. We really are. Like, we have got all of our ducks in a row. We know what we're doing. We know how it's all gonna map out once we get it rolling. And with that kind of success already in the hopper, I can't see how we could possibly not be successful. There'll be juried and featured shows that will always refresh the space, and that's sort of a primary goal for us, is to make sure that there's always a rotation of art. So the person who comes in, in March and comes back with their sister in April is not going to see the same stuff on the wall. They'll see a rotation of work all the time. And I think that's really important, because having a fresh face in the gallery is really important to foot traffic, and people who come back once will come back twice and come back thrice. And that means money in your pocket. Let me see here.
Here's the next.
Oh, future show artists would pay a show fee and a commission for art sales. Okay, so we're looking for alternative media as well. It's not just visual art that we want to see on the walls. We're looking for sculptors, carvers, jewelry makers, Indigenous artisans. We've got someone who makes, possibly someone who's been invited that makes incredible jewelry, moccasins. We have locally beautiful pottery makers, jewelry makers. Like, there's just the artistic talent in this region is staggering, and it's just a shame that there's been no venue up to this point, but not of a public gallery anyway, and we really do hope to change that. Okay, so the gallery will not be a gift shop by any stretch, but we will be carrying lots of curated products in there. Floor shelving, spacing, so we've covered all that. So consignment artists are not restricted to just visual arts. So this is an interesting slide to go through. So I'm gonna turn this over to Claire. There you go, my dear.
Okay, by the numbers. So now we're giving you a picture of the nitty gritty and how we feel at this point, looking at the current space that we're considering, looking at a very conservative budget as well. This is how we're going to start things off. Just want to make sure I'm on the right. Okay. What is this? Oh, I'm right here. Pardon me. Okay, so the range that we're thinking about is going to be anywhere from $40 to $70. And we don't know exactly what those numbers are going to be, but we think it's in that ballpark. So it gives you an idea what's in it for you. How does this interest you? I think these kinds of things maybe will help you make a decision about your interest in doing this. So we say we have multiple options for display depending on your medium. So wall space, shelf space, yeah, some of these. Yes, yes. Yeah. And so the space is going to be anywhere from 4 feet to 6 feet across. The space that we're looking at right now has 18-foot ceilings, 18-foot high walls, and the ceilings are old tin. But so there's lots of space, airy, beautiful, light. And the commission on your work will be 30%. So a 30% commission, which I think from the research that we've done and the things that we've looked at and based on our own experience, 30% is a little bit below what other areas are charged. I think we also haven't maybe mentioned that we've been doing a whole lot of talking. We are almost coming into a question and answer period. So we'll be really happy to answer your questions and to talk to you about all of this information just in a couple of minutes. So if you, okay, how many consignment artists and artisans are we looking for? We think going in, we may be looking for 10 consignment artists, and we may be looking for 7 artisans. So it doesn't tell you everything, but it does give you an idea of the range that we're looking at and the number of people that we're looking for. We want to make sure that everybody's going to be making money. And so our monthly fee is going to be as low as possible. So there's that.
I just want to say something about the numbers.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to mention that while we say 10 consignment artists, that we know that we're starting thinking about a period of time of 3 months that an artist would, you know, and we haven't finalized all details, but that's kind of what we're thinking. That gives us a chance for us to see how your things work out, for you to see how the gallery works for you, to, you know, to see, we start with that, and then there's the opportunity to extend the agreement, or perhaps you have certain times of the year where you're away. And so while it's 10, that doesn't mean that probably there will be more than 10 artists who will be able to participate. The 10 is kind of like the spaces we would have at any one time, just because of the amount of space that we have. I've actually, I am not showing it, but we do have a very detailed plan that we've drawn of this space, but we're still hoping we get this space. So that's kind of our projection for this space of how much we can fit if we have those types of numbers of space. So, you know, up to 6 feet of wall space for an artist to the wall, And then artists may come for a period, they may decide to not to show for a period. Some may want to continue for a year. So we hope that there will be more artists than 10 that will be able to take advantage of this.
Right.
We certainly have lots of people who are interested. So don't shy away from that. Ooh, they've got 40 people here and that's going to be, we will be asking people to make a submission when we get going, when we've got the gallery, our leases signed, to apply. And for sure, we have to have the partners to review the work, review what you've sent in, to look at what you're submitting, what you would like to show, and to make decisions about those.
Okay, thank you. I think we can move to the next slide we've already covered and we've talked about. So if we move now to next steps. Yes, so this is basically what we've just been talking about. So next steps. Yeah,
We've really covered everything.
Okay.
that's already on the slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
next steps and discussion. So these people and us now too, me now too, they've already done a great deal of work on some of this stuff, and there's a whole lot more to do, and there are a lot of moving parts right now. So, and those are looking for a great mix of artists, negotiating and signing the lease or a lease on a great space. This is where we're at now. Preparing business related agreements and contracts and processes and all of those things, just generally setting up the business is what we're working on. And maybe not, it's last on our list, and it's definitely one of the most important ones. We're going to have significant startup costs as well with this. So we are going to be seeking out funding to help with startup costs. So we're getting close to the end of the presentation. And before we get into discussion and questions and that kind of thing, maybe we would like to pick your brain a little bit just to get an idea. If any of you can help us with or can point us in the right direction to see about arts and culture funding available, to see about grants that could be available to assist with the gallery, funding to support diversity or Indigenous arts related businesses. So if you've heard of such organizations or such places that do offer those kinds of grants that we can then go in and do the research on, we would love your input to this, and we would love the information from you. You can certainly send us a message. We have a regular email that you've all been given an RSVP from us, so you would all have an email address. So if you do have any of that information that could be helpful to us, that would be wonderful.
Not if you have
Claire,
grants
can
already.
I just interject a point?
Absolutely, Pam.
Yeah, I just want to point out that our moving forward with this project does not depend on this funding.
Right.
The associates are willing to put our own money into establishing this, whatever's required to get it up and running. We're just hoping, obviously, not to have to spend too much of our own money. So I just wanted to make that clarification. It's not going to hold us back from proceeding, especially if we get a move-in ready space and are able to negotiate for the space to be ready to move in. And then all we need to do is get the hanging systems and the specialized lighting, etc. So this is just a desire for us to try and get some funding to cover the costs, but we will be going for.
Oh, we've lost you, Pam.
I think there's been some connectivity
Yeah.
issues over the.
Okay.
Sorry, Pam, we've lost you, buddy.
Okay,
No,
so
she's muted
that
again.
point is
Okay.
just, we have lost you. And that point is, we don't need that to move forward. It would be a nice too. So, that's really it. We're there for our presentation, okay?
Yeah. Hannah's coming.
Let's go into some discussions, some questions.
So
yeah,
we'll
do
field the
we-
questions off of the chat first.
Oh,
Yeah, let's-
okay.
let's see what
So
we
we
got.
have, again, we do have a number of people on Zoom and they have been inputting their questions onto the chat part of that. And so now they're going to field those questions and answer them.
Just reading through here. This is the first time we're all seeing these questions and I can't
Yeah.
see.
Okay, so Pam asked them to do that. Okay, can
Yeah,
you?
I'm fine to summarize the questions if you can hear me.
Yep.
Yes,
Can hear
we
you now.
can.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead, Pam.
Okay, do we want to go back to a screen mode where we can see people?
Sure.
Yeah, and if people have questions on Zoom, if you want to put your hand up via the reactions button, then we can hopefully not talk over each other. So Anne Pichet was asking, is there a limitation of specific geographic areas for people that exhibit? And the answer to that is no, as long as you are still able to commute to do shifts in the gallery. You're welcome to come from outlying areas around the Ottawa Valley over into the Outaouais and Gatineau, as long as you're willing to support the gallery by being there physically for shifts and pay your fees and be part of the gallery. We're not going to be that specific about where you're from.
Okay.
Anything to add to that, ladies?
You said as long as people are ready to be there for shifts. What does that mean?
Well, as we said in the presentation, similar to the Foyer Gallery or the Canada Civic Art Gallery, this will be our gallery. And so when we have open hours, people will sign up and do shifts at the gallery to help run it and keep it open.
I see.
Now, with the number of artists we're looking at, it's not going to be a heavy commitment.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't
It's COVID voice.
right. It's just we're going to have that shared burden.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Danielle asked, is the artist paying a monthly fee if not exhibiting? Well, no, if you're not exhibiting, you're not paying fees. So it's not a membership structure like the civic art galleries. You're either an active, exhibitor at the gallery or you're not.
Mhm.
And then Wendy, you asked the difference between artists versus artisans. I think
Yes.
we're not defining that. I think what we're indicating though is that, say, if there's a local maker that makes fine candles or something with beautiful scents, and it's at a high level, or maybe it's like clay soap dishes or whatever, there might be a level of artisanal product that wouldn't seem too gifty, but would
Yeah,
be
I would-
fine, would be elevated at a fine level.
I see. Okay.
I think that I'm just going to interject that one of the criteria that I think we would look at is if you have something that's repetitively made, that if it's made with a mold, like it's something that even if you make it, but it's something that you make that's each individual piece is not unique, then we're not probably going to be too open to that. But we would be looking for more at things where each item that's made is unique, that is made from materials that you make and all of that. So that like a sculpture, each one is unique. A painting, each one is unique. So anyway, that's the, that, you know, we haven't
There's
got, we
lots of
haven't-
gift stores.
yeah,
Is that it for the,
okay, over to you, Pam.
No, Danielle also asked if exhibiting artists have to be members of Arts Carleton Place. So yes, we are making that a requirement. It's like if you sign on to exhibit at our gallery, you're going to support the Arts Carleton Place with the $25 membership. Then of course you will be invited to all of the shows that they have and the exhibits in public spaces that they have, and it's just a really good way to kind of bolster and support the local art scene as well, and get double visibility as well. There's definitely a lot of cross promotion we can do between us and Arts Carleton Place.
and the local arts communities, we all support each other. So there's benefit from that as well. Arts, it can't be understated. Arts Carleton Place is it's a powerful little organization. I highly encourage everybody to become members. Any others, Pam?
I don't think so, but there's some fantastic suggestions for funding resources, so I'll be taking
Awesome.
note of all of those.
All right,
Okay, so we'll
Okay.
take questions from the floor here then, okay, Pam?
Yeah, and if anybody wants to unmute themselves and put up their hand, I'll be looking for hands up on the screen as well.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So we're
Right.
open for questions. We did. have
Yeah, we
one.
did a good job,
We
didn't
did,
we?
yes, yes, please.
Just a question about 4 to 6 feet wide on the panels. I know this is maybe premature, but how high and how high off the floor? Have you given any thought to that? Because I've seen galleries display right down to the floor level.
well, no, we're the way we look at this in terms of being able to handle both the artisan products and wall art is that we probably will have, you know, we haven't done the design, but my vision was we would have some low shelves so that there will be an opportunity on the lower level up to, I'm not quite sure, I'd have to be standing, but a couple of low shelves so that we could display some things, not all crowded in. This will be all blended in, you know, not at all like a gift shop, but into pieces displayed. And then above that, we would offer those spaces to the consignment artists. So we were, the 4 feet maybe for the artisan area, depending on what we see is what their needs are. And maybe 5 to 6 feet for the wall space of the artists. And some of the reason to do 5 or 6 is that when we're looking at this particular space, just the configuration of the gallery lends itself to not, you know, I worked around what it is. So I think that's what it would be. So it would be kind of, you'd have above this area and then the wall above it would be, you know, what we would mark off and say, that's your wall. There's a hanging system, you know, we'll work with any artist to help them, you know, display.
Just piggybacking on
Okay.
that, so my small pieces are about 30 by 30 inches, so it's somewhat a small printer.
Mhm.
So 4 feet would be non-existent.
Yes.
6 feet is also very, very tight, so that's one of my questions too. Plus,
Okay.
as you sculpture as well. So in that space, I would have, if I was on the board, would have two-dimensional work hanging, but then also art plates for my stonework.
Yeah.
How would that fit within 6 sides?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna,
it's
maybe in
too
case
soon.
everybody here didn't hear that, I'll just, so, the question is, that, if she has very large pieces, the 6 feet is gonna be, you know, pretty tight. She paints big and sculptures,
15, 70
large things. So what are we thinking about that? Well, we haven't thought about everything
Yeah,
yet,
that's what I
but,
thought.
and so we're pleased to have that question.
Mhm.
So, so yes, I don't think anything is cast in stone. If an artist makes a submission and says, this is what we have, and we're just really excited about showing that art, we would probably try to make that that
Work.
happen.
Yeah.
Make
And
it work.
we try to make that work.
Yeah.
And we do plan to get some plinths so that we can have some of that. It's not just, and so yes, we're going to try to be,
You figured it out.
yeah, to try to figure that out.
It's
But
very
that's the-
fluid, very fluid at this point.
Okay, thank you.
We're also gonna do like all of our shelving and everything that we're looking at, all the attributes that are gonna go into showcase are all glass. They're very clear, very simple, just clean lines. Like we don't want bulky, heavy wood furniture. We don't like, everything's gonna be very sharp, professional, minimal, clean.
So here's questions, if you give each artist 4 feet, walls again, it's
Or-
all up to the artist or is someone, look all over, so it's a certain rules, how big is it? So here's the questions, in Manhattan, if they have shows like one wall is like 3 feet each artist,
Mhm.
some of, displayed from the bottom and top and, mask bill. And sounds like, put only 1 or 2.
Mhm.
So I don't like, put from bottom and top,
Mhm.
so proud, it's
Right.
like that's great.
Right.
So
Yes.
is there anyone's, so like viewing or so like there's a certain rules and do not feel, from bottom to here and
Mhm,
top to
mhm.
there, so like, like one piece, full piece, it's okay. But,
Right.
so like if
Yes.
one space like a 20 piece and proud like the next artist.
Mhm, mhm.
I mean, it's like I don't know how you pick the artist, like who the jury, but it's matter to who exhibit together.
Right,
it's like-
right.
Right,
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
all
more
something-
things that will also have to be worked out
Yeah.
as we go through this.
Another good question, and I'll just say, reiterate, is that will we be looking at the space to make some decisions about how many pieces can be put on a wall? In other words, one artist really crowding their space, another artist, so that the gallery maintains its professional gallery appearance.
Mhm.
And that's a good question.
Mhm.
These are great questions.
Yeah.
And those are things that we as new gallery partners, owners will have to work out. But that is a very good question. And we certainly wouldn't, I don't think, want to see like massively crowded areas, one other area. That's
Yeah.
not,
Mhm.
it's, we do that often at an art show when they give you a space and you pack it in with
Yeah.
stuff and other people.
I think
So
we'll be involved.
yes,
Mhm,
we will
mhm.
definitely be involved to set some criteria and to suggest how best to display, getting feedback from all of you as well,
Yes.
so that the gallery keeps its professional, good appearance.
Mhm.
So, thank you for that
Yeah.
question.
A couple of great questions came in online.
Okay, hang
Okay.
on just one sec, Pam. We just got one question on the floor here.
Okay,
You mentioned a 3-month agreement with the consignment artist.
To start,
Does that mean typically that the art will be up for 3 months, or would there be rotation possible within those 3 months? And
Your
so
space.
The artist has that space for 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subject to not abusing the
right,
layout.
right.
Yeah, definitely your space.
So, so the question was, if you have a 3-month time, do you have the opportunity then to refresh, go in, change it up? Right, that's kind of what you're asking.
And-
And to replace pieces if you feel you would like to do that? Absolutely. We would absolutely be happy to do that. We'd want to see you do that. We're hoping that you'll be selling art and be bringing in new
Yeah.
pieces. So
Yeah,
yes,
the other thing is like this, are you going to allow the, artists to make it a print or, card? And, so some, so the productions or some recent artwork,
there would,
which is like, to me, it's like, I want to work with a really professional artist.
Mhm.
It's important, even if it's space and, so like it's good opportunity, but also it's a matter who I work and how to represent.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
don't like, put all the card front and there's.
no, I don't think
No.
that will be the situation here. And it certainly would be all original pieces.
Yes.
For sure.
Now,
Those are all conversations we still have yet to have as well. Like we're getting into a lot of the detail
Yes.
and we
Yeah.
still intend
Yeah.
to really talk about all of this. But we ensure a professional look professional gallery that will be properly hung, probably with guidelines on how the consignment artists can use their spaces.
Mhm.
Okay, you're going to put like it's not allowed to print.
We
Well,
don't
the
know
art-
what we're going to
You know
say yet.
what? Art for Aid is going to have
Yes,
a small corner in there.
and they can,
Yeah, the
put all of
proceeds,
that.
the proceeds from Art for Aid go to support that project. That project has an online store. So that little corner would have prints, there would be cards, but that is a fundraising allocation. It doesn't have anything to do with the gallery other than it is being represented as Indigenous artists in that gallery.
Okay, and one more question, Ian. If, are you going to like this and give them notice about the price, minimum price, like so size by size?
all of those
Yeah.
details, but there will be probably something like that, but all of that is still to be provided.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, we're just a little soon for that, but
Mhm.
those were things that obviously will
you're
be
going to-
thought through and will be outlined before we ask you to make a submission. So
Jilly?
let's let Pam
yeah,
just break
just
in
1 second.
everything, and then we'll come back to you guys. Absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, Pam.
So, great. So Jilly, first thing is that when people are asking questions in person, can you repeat the question before you answer so that
Yes.
everybody can hear it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, I've tried, but I probably forgot.
no problem. So Anne Pichet, well, first I'm going to say anybody on Zoom that is leaving or needs to go, please make note and click through the URL I shared for the Google form if you're still interested in being considered and contacted when we're ready for to do a call out for consignment artists. Okay, we'll keep you in the loop. We want to know your level of interest, and it's a very simple Google form. So just making that note. Anne Pichet asks, will the artwork be insured while hanging in the gallery? So we will get insurance that is for liability and the things that we need to, but the individual artwork will be the responsibility of the artist to have insured. And that's pretty standard at all of the galleries that I've exhibited in as well.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get insurance coverage for original art. And it's very costly, so we won't be able to provide that. What was the other question here? There was another big question. Let me just scroll here. Sorry, where was it? No, I guess that was it. I thought there was another major question here.
Pam,
Mhm.
I have a question.
can you,
Sorry.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Who's?
Joanne, go ahead.
It's Wendy.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we're losing you, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah, just to clarify the fees expected from the consignment artists, it is
Gotta love it when it
the
works.
fee that you, whatever you decide, I'm not asking about the number. I just want to know, is that required annually, every month for the year, or only for the time you may be exhibiting?
Yes, I think we addressed that.
Yeah.
Okay, the fees that we were talking about are a monthly fee. They are only going to be for
Annual.
the term of your,
Monthly.
the monthly fee. It's only being required for the period of time that you are showing in the gallery. So it's not like you become a member of this
Okay.
gallery or anything like that. You submit an application, you accept it to be to show for a certain period of time. You pay a fee for the months that you have that space. When you've just, when that term is up, if
I
you
see.
don't aren't renewed or you don't choose not to renew, that's it. So there's a fee plus a
Okay, I
commission.
understand.
Okay,
And Joanne, you had a question?
Fee plus commission. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you so much. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, Pam, just, you mentioned something we need to do to indicate our continued interest and be included in future calls or calls for submissions. I didn't quite get that.
Okay, I've shared it in the chat again. It's just a link to a Google form.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
And I also, while I'm speaking, I also came across what the other good question was, which is just wondering if there will be a set of bylaws and policies to make everything clear to associates. So yes, we mentioned in one of our slides that we've already been drafting and having a lawyer look at our associate agreement. We're going to have consignment agreements that have been reviewed by lawyers to make sure that it's very clear what people are signing on for. We're doing this all in a very official way so that there's really no guesswork. But again, this presentation is very loose because until we have the space and know exactly what we're dealing with, those things will be shifting. But just to let you know, yes, we will have very clear policies and very clear documentation of who is signing on for what and what that entails.
So did everybody get that? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take questions off the floor, Pam. Lorette, you had a question?
That question, I don't know that it's important, but what is the legal of the partnership? Or is it a partnership?
It will be a registered partnership. Yeah. With the government of Ontario.
I have a question about 10 artists. So is 10 number how much you have space for at any one time to exhibit? Is it a minimum number of people that you that is all? Is it the top 10 that you decide?
Yeah, there's 10. Looking at it, if we so the question on the floor right now is the exhibiting artists number fluid?
Well, not
Yeah,
really.
so when we
Sorry,
put
did
up,
I
when we
misunderstood?
put up,
Have 40 artists who are interested in showing. Would you just rotate them through, assuming they were at a good level, right?
Okay.
Assuming that you say 40 good artists that you really liked.
Mhm.
Would everyone have their wall space? And the next person would rotate in, or would that person be able to keep that wall space for an indeterminate amount?
Oh, that's a good question.
so, okay, so the question was, if we have 40 people that are accepted as at the level that would be shown in the gallery, but we only have 10 spaces, would we simply have 3 months and be just rotating through those people? Or would there be people who would stay longer, or, you know, how are we going to do that? That's a good question too.
Hmm.
So we have those 10 spaces, and we are fairly sure that probably isn't going to be 10 people who will want to be there, you know, all the, you know, to go as permanent people. We may not want that either.
Right.
So there will be more than 10, but I'm not sure that it will be quite that you're accepted and we rotate you through. We have to see those submissions first. Okay, there's going to be a lot. And we see what we get. The group will, you know, review all of that. And it's also part of the idea that the art that we have hanging, we want to ensure that there's a mix of art. You know, what we're showing, that the gallery has a good variety, a good type of styles, different medium. So there's going to be some criteria as well to sort of curate the gallery so that it really has all of that. Those. So what will that mean for every artist? That's
Something
going to be
different.
hard to say. You know, it'll be
Something different for
Something
each
different.
artist. I think
Yes.
they're going to be individual decisions based on a number of criteria yet to be.
yeah. And okay, go ahead, Laura. Sorry. Okay, do you have a
These
question?
5 partners are gonna be on constant display.
Yes.
Yes.
That I understand.
Yes.
So what percentage are they gonna have the same 4 to 6 feet
No.
person?
No.
What percentage is gonna sign that part?
Well,
total space?
I think it'll be more than half, but we have still to map that out. A lot of it depends on the actual space we get, but it's not like just a small space being allocated to the consignment artists. But yes, we're all doing this, putting up our money, paying our much larger monthly fees, and we'll have larger spaces, permanent
Yes.
spaces.
How big is the total space?
We had that.
We had
1,132 square feet of the one we are looking at currently.
with a portion being the studio room area, which is what we're looking at, hoping it'll be 12 by 24, this room. We would like it to have been bigger, but this space is what it had, and at least it did have this space with a back door, and so it's really quite suitable.
Question in the back.
Sorry, hang on a second. I'm gonna, Yeah,
It might have
Shirley.
already kind of been answered. I'm just wondering if the 10 spaces, that's for the consignment artists. It doesn't include the 5 permanent.
That's
spaces.
correct.
that's right. That's right.
And there's additional spaces that will be for the artisans, that we
Yes.
will have other lower shelving that we
Yes.
can, put them
Well,
together.
I mean, sculpture, you can put them in the
Yes.
bills and stuff. on
Ex-
pedestals.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And we'll also have the moving walls.
Oh,
So
and we
if we
didn't,
have,
that. Okay, sorry, the question had been, was the 10 spaces did not include the
Associate artists.
associate artists, and so we confirmed that that's right, there's 10 spaces, the associate artists have additional spaces. That are more larger, and that we have those permanent spaces.
there's a question at the back. there, Pam?
Jillian?
Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
what, yeah, Pam?
I was just going to say too, we glossed over a little bit or very quickly in the presentation, the idea of specialized rotating solo shows
Yes.
and specialized environments in the space that allow for specialty one-time shows.
Yes.
Again, to start and launch the gallery, we're keeping it very simple with just the associate and the consignment artists exhibits. But
Pam?
Chelsea Gallery. I don't
Okay.
know how my connection is here. I hope
Yeah.
that's coming through close, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities for exhibiting.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat that, Pam, because you did break out through part of that. So what Pam is explaining is that we also have some flexibility in the gallery. We do intend eventually, maybe not the right away, but to build these movable walls so that we can also have invite an artist to come in for a special show, and that they would pay a larger fee. Perhaps we would market this, and use this as a promotional opportunity, and that we would showcase a particular artist, and that we can use these walls to make maybe a solo area space. If we plan that out, that would be a few weeks, and and have other opportunities for artists other than just the consignment artists. Did I cover that off, Pam? Okay. Probably not. as well
Yeah,
as you
and
would have.
just in general, just to clarify, like, this is a non-profit gallery, but the associates are running this gallery. So, we will have people assigned, like the associates,
You're gone.
how things are hung. And I mean, the decision will still ultimately be the partners, associates to make on how the gallery goes forward. So it's a bit of a, open, supportive, building the community environment, but ultimately we are still running it as a fine art gallery. So we will not be squeezing things in. We will not be, accepting just anything. We're really going to curate this carefully to the benefit of all of us. So just to make sure that people kind of understand that your space is your space, but we will probably have an associate who oversees and curates how things clean and, you know, sleek.
Yes.
Yes,
And there was
Okay.
a question at the back. Yep.
yes.
So I've got a couple of questions. Around training, you have to be a consignment artist, to have opportunities to teach for training.
No,
No,
Okay.
okay,
Um,
can I just,
Yeah, I'm just
the
gonna read it.
question was, do you have to be a consignment artist to use the space or rent the space for training? The answer is no. We certainly, that's independent. The space that we have, we'll have a book. We want to book it up as much as we can for studio space, workshops, training, whatever. It doesn't have, independent of
me.
your being a consignment artist.
And the other question is around sales and marketing. And it's kind of twofold. Is the website going to feature all the artists and their works and the opportunity for people to purchase in some way, shape, or form through the website? With the website be part of the gallery presence? And the other is, do you have a sales and marketing plan to address things like promotion? Like, is there going to be signage up at 7 to direct people? Is it the gallery? Do you have a plan in place for that, or is that something you're going to work on and share publicly?
Okay, so the question was,
Great question.
the the last question was, do we have a marketing plan or a plan for signage, directing people
Thanks very much.
to the gallery? And first question, just give me
Online
the,
presence.
oh yes, the website, the online presence. Are we going to be featuring all the artists and possibly allowing sales through the website? So the first question about the website, because I'm the webmaster, so I can tell you, is that we will feature the artists on the website. We are not going to be moving straight into any, at this point, we're not intending to sell online at this point. However, I know in the package that I purchased that we do have the WooCommerce plugin, and it does have the capability to do that. And if in the future you know, when everything is running smoothly, when we're not addressing all these other issues, we as partners could rethink that, but it's not our intention at this point to sell that way. Marketing, I think we have some real talent there. And I think that is something that we have planned. We've talked about, we've got money in our budget to buy signage, our own sign, but also signs that we can put out to promote the gallery for having a special event or an opening and all of that. So.
And I think so I'm an IT as well. I think my biggest, disappointment with galleries and even artists is they don't have a strong enough presence.
Yeah.
So I would think this is kind of a community effort.
Mhm.
I would hope that, and I think what you're doing is fantastic. Just that,
Thank you.
I would hope that we would see that as another funnel for us as
Yeah.
artists. And so I would hope that we would have portfolios up, would have
Yeah.
links just for our social.
Yes.
That the
Yeah.
gallery itself, and I was impressed with something so new. You have a prominence, or you have an appearance on Instagram, which isn't the all end all. I would hope there's a larger focus around social media, leveraging even things like LinkedIn and Twitter and others. And I think that's where so many fall short. I think that's an opportunity once again, gallery, but then funnel.
Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
so the comment is hoping that we are going to have a strong social presence, taking advantage of social media. And I can tell you with absolute confidence that we have probably the best social media person in Ottawa as a partner. And that is the least of our concerns.
Yeah.
Because Pam Stewart is absolutely fantastic. Pam, you can give yourself a pat on the back right now because I'm doing that. And as well as other members of the team. Yes, I think that we feel very confident in how we will do that. And Pam has set up all of that. We've worked together in terms of, we have a MailChimp account, we have our website set up, we have a presence on social media, our Facebook, Instagram. And I think Pam's even got us LinkedIn or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And I'll just note as well too that we would make sure that artists that are exhibiting have a drop folders to update images. We would be putting out on social media features of our artists. I know how to do reels well. I have a Canva Pro account, so do graphics. And our budget actually has marketing money in it for paid social media as well, because paid promotions are really getting attention these days. Unfortunate reality, but it's definitely part of our structured plans moving forward.
Well, I assume you know already, but open the gallery, so you can use all the media, so you can reach out to all the newspapers and.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and this is where also our relationship with Arts Carleton Place is also important, because we will work with them too, and Arts Carleton Place and already have for their shows have done radio, TV interviews to promote the shows, and we have contacts there. We have
We're
contacts
losing
with
sound
Bell
bites.
Media. So yeah, I think we'll take advantage of every and all opportunities that we can to promote the gallery. We do want this gallery to be recognized as a premier gallery and draw traffic from Ottawa and the surrounding area.
No,
That people
sound
say,
is
where would you
gone.
be interested to buy art? The Carleton Place Gallery be one that would be thought of.
But this is a couple of ideas like this, and Carleton Place is getting bigger, seeing a lot of house comes, maybe if you your brochures and put, and all newcomers could see, easy to.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a suggestion that we take advantage of the development and new builders and new builds, and to put out promotion with that. Yeah, that's something that I've thought about a lot, that getting agents and people at shows to have information, because those new walls will need art. So so I'm just responding to that. We're working with
Sound is gone.
builders and things. So yes.
Okay.
Right there. Yep. Go ahead.
Just a quick technical question. I see the handout has a QR code in order to get to the Google form for registration.
Yes.
Is there a link on the website or something so we can fill it out on the computer rather than on the cell phone?
Yes.
I think you've set that up, Pam. Can they fill out the registration form through the website?
I don't think I've added it yet, but I am intending to do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So that you can,
Otherwise, it just comes up on the cell phone.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
and for anybody who just can't handle that, I do have 10 forms that you could fill out. We're not we're not old school, but
Yeah.
they're
But it
just-
is very easy.
Yeah.
so-
Once you know how, it's easy.
Once you.
So
you-
the question was about the QR form that Pam has put in the comments for the Zoom group, to go to the form asking to remain, receiving information about what we're doing. So I've said also that I will put that on the website too. If you change your mind or you lose it or something happens, that I'll put that up on the website.
And that's not, that would not be the formal application to become a commissioned artist with the gallery. It's an expression of interest, and it puts you on the mailing.
Yeah,
Put you on our way.
that's a key point. that this is not applying to be a consignment artist. This is saying that
That's correct.
I'm still interested.
Yes.
I still want to hear about this. I want to know more. So when we get to that point of actually having a gallery, when we've signed a lease and we can say, woohoo, we have a gallery, then we'll be building that application form. It'll be online. You'll be asked to submit images, like you apply to many things. And we haven't built that form yet.
What will be like
Oh.
your submission?
Sorry, can I just get a question behind you there? Go ahead, Barb.
Given that two of the directors are going to, are, what are your guidelines gonna be in terms of what is, and what kind of limit will you want on the photography, because those are made by the team.
Mhm.
So, have you thought about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's nice. Okay, so the question was that, while Jenny is a photographer and I'm a photographer, but I'm also an artist, so I won't be just, I wouldn't be showing, strictly photography by any means. Do we have guidelines for that? What we'd be showing? Like any submission, we will be reviewing it for its merit, like any juried process. We certainly would want to see that the images are part of limited edition productions, that those images come with certificate of the authenticity, and that that they are 4 of 10 or whatever it is. We'll probably, we have not finalized this, but there probably will be a limit, like many associations do, like Arts Carleton Place do, which you're familiar with, and the photographers have worked out. So we'll probably be looking at that in that vein, and also curating the space, as we said, for diversity and what's happening.
It will depend on, like I said, what your guidelines of that too, in terms of interest.
Right.
Photographers,
So we're not,
and everything has to be ready to hit.
everything has to be ready to
sure.
hang. So yes, obviously there are 2 of us who do photography, fine art photography. And that's part of that is a criteria that there's got to be an artistic element to your, your photography, and skill and all of that. The question over here.
Oh, I think I might have answered my own question.
Okay.
I'm on the party and I had a question about vernissages and all about wine. Wine.
There we go. Yeah.
Mandatory thing, for example, if you are exhibiting, let's just say, there is something that I know in some galleries you're responsible for the cost of the vernissage and stuff like that, and it is a mandatory event.
Yes,
Is that, have you considered?
it's on the list.
It's on the list. We
We'll
haven't,
discuss.
I will say that we haven't in our discussion said that consignment artists will have to pay for a vernissage. And that isn't high on my list of things. So I'm not going to commit because I have partners, and I probably shouldn't say, but that's not high on my list of things that I want.
Jillian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
We cannot hear you. Like for the past 4 or 5 minutes, I haven't heard anything that you said. So that I think that's why people are leaving, because they can't hear a thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not muted. No, it's our internet connection here, I think. Concrete walls,
Yeah. Do you
Can
still
you-
have your projector hooked onto your computer?
No, I have a can you hear
Maybe
me?
try unplugging it. It might be using some of your memory or something. I don't know. I'm just giving ideas.
Can you hear me at all, Danielle?
Right now I can.
You can. No, I have 2 computers. I have one computer running the
Now
in-house.
I don't know now if you're talking, but I cannot hear you. And I don't know if you hear me.
Why don't you unplug? I can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
haven't heard pretty much anything for about 7 or 8 minutes at this point.
Bummer.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It is being recorded, so hopefully we can upload that.
It's being recorded,
It's
but if there's no
backwards.
sound, you won't be hearing it either.
Yeah.
Maybe try moving your computer a little bit farther, like just move around and maybe the connection will be better.
But I can hear you. Hang on. Let's try muting and unmuting, okay? Let's try muting us and unmuting. I don't know why that would help. Oh, yeah, the chat, right. Go find. Oh, not that I can type it. Technology, right?
So for those of you that are still in the room, you did have a copy of the agenda, and there is a QR code here if you want to use that now to fill in the application. You just
Get it with your phone.
yes.
So,
Use the camera on your phone.
Just a thought about, mentioning the, having vernissages. If you've got, the consignment artists coming on at different times for, some might extend for a month and then, it's gonna get out of sync.
Yep.
Is that really gonna work unless you're gonna have a vernissage every month or something?
We will be having monthly promotions of some sort.
Okay.
I mean, this is. Okay, yeah, we will not have months go by without having something happening. I mean, we've had all kinds of ideas. I mean, Pam is hoping to do on a Friday night, have a TGIF and just get all the people in the community to drop in and have coffee or something with it. Just something to keep us with the community. We have a monthly budget to have some kind of a promotion so that we have, we're looking at who's in the space, what we want to do, feature an artist or whatever. So yes, there's going to be ongoing promotions and invitations for the public to come to the gallery. You got a
yeah,
question?
saying if we signed like we are interested in the sign, then are you going to giving emails like via submissions to court artists, the times like a consignment time? So like right now it's just interesting.
Yeah.
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 And then later it's via court artists, the submission.
Yes.
Can we get by email? Because I'm really bad at teaching of ordinance.
We will send that out using MailChimp, I'm sure. Pam is gonna probably put something together. We'll probably use multiple ways to get it out. I'm sure it'll go out on all social media. It'll go out with our mail outs. It'll probably come out with your Arts Carleton Place letter, that because we will piggyback on that as much as we can. So
Our
if you're
information
on
is not
the
going to be hard to find.
we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna get it. We're gonna get that information to you.
Yeah.
Personally like email.
Well, it'll go out on Facebook, on Instagram, by email. There are so many, you name it. If there's a social media communication level, we're on it. Yeah, we're
I
going to
think
be there.
Part of what this lady asked was if she has submitted an application of interest, will she then get an email
Yeah.
confirming now it's time?
Oh, okay.
So yes, you will.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
you will.
You sound bad about Facebook and the Instagrams all catching up.
Right.
Yeah, miss a lot.
Yeah,
Yes, you will.
anybody on the email list will get information about, okay, the gallery is opening, please start submitting your images. So yeah, if you're registered, you'll get that information too.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Any other questions on the floor?
Guess people like a
Yeah.
Just a comment. For those of us who live in Carleton or any other rural area that has internet and cell phone coverage that is either non-existent.
Yeah, Carleton has no internet. Everybody knows that.
Email is probably the best,
Mm.
provided you need a couple of days extra to respond.
Right, right.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. We won't send something out and say, well, you have to have your answers in
10 minutes.
There will be plenty of. And I don't think we're going to be, it's not going to be a first come, first serve
No.
proposition either.
Nope.
So all submissions will be looked at carefully and thoughtfully and gratefully. So
Surrounding Memories is on Bridge Street. Are they part of this? Talk to them?
we have not talked to them other than chatting about what they pay for their lease and things like that, which we will not share with you because that's private, but getting some information like that. But absolutely, I would certainly hope that once we get the gallery, that we would be talking to them about, you know, somebody comes to purchase a piece and they want it framed, yes, that we will be hopefully helping each other.
And what about Sarah Moffat? She has gallery space.
Yeah, she's got her own gallery.
We don't have any formal relationship with her, but I mean, obviously, we intend to be a community space. We're not competing with her. We will be happy to you know, to work with her in any way. So we're not trying to shut down anybody who's, you know, doing well in the area. We're and we have, she has, and
Yeah, she
we've
sure
talked
has.
to her for sure to talk about the movable walls. So she's shared with us how she made them and things like that. So we have a, you know, a friendly relationship with all
Yeah.
people that we can in the area.
Just want to another the more galleries here, the better.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 We're known as a town that has galleries. It's just gonna bring people from outside.
It's true.
more
It's
of an
true.
area.
Wherever a gallery sets up shop, there is vast improvement economically, aesthetically. You know, the galleries benefit communities hands down around the world.
They do.
What about other art associations? I know there's Manifold, there's some. Carleton, Perth, and there's Almont, there's a whole bunch of. I mean, contact.
I believe so. We have, I've talked to people from all of those associations and many of whom are actually members of Arts Carleton Place, or we have talked in terms of when we were trying to build our associate group. And we'll share with them like we often do when one association puts out a call for a show, usually within a space of time, those calls go out everywhere. And so we're certainly not gonna.
Well, lots of cross promotion.
Not gonna ignore anybody and welcome all.
Yeah, because
Anybody else?
competing against Ottawa. With Ottawa, with west towards Toronto,
Well,
quite a big job.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we're confident
up
though
for
that
it.
we're confident about what we want to build. We have a really strong vision for what we want to see in the downtown core and how it's going to be promoted. So I don't think we have too much to fear. I mean, we're going to engage a lot of other galleries around us for cross promotion. We're going to have a really strong social media presence. So I think we're going to, I'm not too worried about competing with anybody or leaving anybody out. Yeah, I think we're going to be just okay. It's our community is a small community, so you know, if we don't all support each other as artists, what good are we? We've got to support each other.
Yeah, and that's the spirit of our of this. This is that's our spirit of how we feel and how we want to run it.
Yeah. Good. Supporting artists. Anybody else? Go on.
All right.
Well, that was wonderful.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody online.
Thank you for taking the time to hear us out.
Or
And
not.
we hope to see, or not. And we hope to see your interest coming in the mail.
Don't forget to sign up. Thank you.
Oh my God.